questioning myself a lot. And my brother came and told me that I will translate. I don't know whether he wants me to translate for him in 10. I don't know. Okay, I am so grateful to be here. As it has been said, but one day when I was at home, I received a call from a brother. And he said, would you actually take this? Guess what I said? I thought you would never ask. This is what I do. And this is not a joke. I love preaching. I do not enjoy standing before people and make myself look good. But I love standing before people and show them the power of the gospel. In the book of Romans chapter 1 in verse 16, Paul says it is the power of God unto salvation. And if it is our zeal for people to be saved, we need to be laughing to preach this gospel. Brother Masango talked about the laborers in the kingdom. And when he was actually talking about the laborers, I thought within myself, and I said, why do we have few? And one of those things that made me that I concluded was that maybe these people are not supported enough. They are not being supported enough. Oh, we are not praying for them enough. In the book of John chapter 4, Jesus said, pray that God sends more laborers in the field. It is your duty too. Which means when we have few laborers in the church, you are also contributing. Because you are not praying for God to send them. So we need them. And we need to have more full-time preachers. And one other thing that is actually making us to have few laborers in the vineyard. Lack of training. Churches don't have Bible studies. And they do not have any problem with it. And people come to the pulpit and say nothing. And this is the truth. Nothing. And you wonder why people go to the denominations. It is because these people are not trained. You are not giving people something worthy their time. You see, these people who are here today, they are here to hear the gospel. But if I stand here and give you nothing, I wasted your time. Therefore, I wasted your life. Because life is made up of time. So we need trained men. Paul says, what I have told you or entrusted to you, I teach to the faithful men who will also teach others. We need to have men who are willing to study. And I'm telling you, we have got few, very, very few men who are willing to study. And many of you are saying, Bible study. Some are saying we'll attend Bible study when we get to pension. When patient comes, diseases are coming also. You see what the
which
problem
means
lies.
if you are to do it now.
If
Do you remember the book of Ecclesiastes 11 verse 4? Musedza mvura na musedza gore hatavi hazvari.
If you look at the clouds or wake up and look at the rain, you will not plant, you will not plow.
If you wait for the right moment, how about if it doesn't come? Laborers are needed. So far, there are only 2 full-time preachers. And we are still young. But we need others who are willing to do this. But let me tell you, can he suggest to be full-time without us usna support?
The money is there. Every Sunday we collect.
Mara I invest we come shumo wo funza.
It's not for preaching.
Natoka kanamba nga cherede inokaka no semana.
If you talk about money, they will rather chase you away.
Then we have good people who are poor who need to be supported too.
We don't do it.
But Christian, full-time preachers are needed. I wish we could understand this as if I am not hurting anybody. Are you ready for the coming of the Lord? Are you? Are we ready for the coming of the Lord? This is the topic that has been assigned to me. And I'm going to read from the book of Matthew chapter 24, verse 42 to 44.
Angadzedza usiku asitende ndu asitende ndu yawe ichijenwa nainwi dzurani yanolindera ngauri murwa mutu udodaka chikati chine nisitivive.
The word that started in verse 42, it is the word watch. It is the Greek word Gregorio. And it means somebody who's actually ready for something that is coming. I remember when I was actually young and our Magaraba Achikademuya.
When those who are in Joburg are coming back this side,
and you are waiting for translate, which you do not know the timing which you arrive. You will always peep just waiting for that bus to come. You go to the bus stop and come back. You make some calls to know if it has actually passed to Kui. And that is Gregorio. We need to be watching. But the second thing that he said, you are doing this because you do not know the day or the time. I mean, is there anyone amongst us who knows the day nor the time? And if you do not know, therefore let us be watchful. And Jesus went on. He gave now an example. So, okay, maybe you did not understand what I said. Let me give you an example that you will understand. He said, if the owner of the house knows the time in which the thief will actually break into his house, I'm telling you, that person will be watchful.
You even put sticks here to hold the eyes.
Because he wants to be watchful. And Jesus wants us to be as watchful as that. And in verse 44, he said, therefore, be ye ready, because you do not know. My beloved brothers, there are few things I want to share with you today. Because there are two things in this topic that has been assigned to me. There is ready, there is coming of the Lord. But I would actually do the best I can actually to give you the taste of all of them. My beloved brothers and sisters, the coming of the Lord is unexpected. In other words, none of us know when he will come back. In the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 2, it will come like the thief in the night. You do not know the time in which the thief will come in your house. We are here now in the church building. The thief may be breaking in our house. And you go back home and you're so angry. You are angry at God. We were worshiping you. Why did you allow these people to rob my house? But it is because you do not know. If you knew, you were not going to do it. So the coming of the Lord, it will actually happen when you least expect it. And Jesus went on to give a story. He said, please remember the story of Noah. People were marrying. People were being married. They were living lavishly, enjoying their lives. And by that time when they were enjoying their lives, the rain started coming. It happened when they least expected it. And let me tell you, the coming of the Lord will actually come when we do not expect. You see, I knew that the Lord was not coming in February. And I was on the radio debating, saying he's not coming. I do not need him to talk to me in the night. I knew because I believe in this thing here. In February, there was a man who said the world is going to end. And I was called on the radio to talk about the issue. And I said, no. It doesn't matter whether he was told or not. Because Jesus said, even the angels in heaven do not know it. Who is he? I knew that it would not happen. Because people will be expecting it by then. The coming of the Lord will be something that will happen when you are not expecting it. When you have electricity in your houses, and everybody driving, eating good food, having everything you need. When we are saying, may we not die, probably by then he will come. Number two, the coming of the Lord will be personal. Each and every one of us will give an account. I'm telling you, the church at Amatsa, that's the group where we will not come in groups. And each and every person will stand before him and be judged. It is an individual responsibility. I will not be judged for my wife. Every person will actually pay his own burden. That's Galatians chapter 6 verse 2. Each person will pay his own burden. 2 Corinthians 5 verse 10. For we shall all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, so that each and every one of us will be recompensed according to what we have done. So the coming of the Lord will be personal. If you are hiding behind your father, it will not work. Hiding behind the preacher will not work. It will be personal. Number 3, the coming of the Lord will be final. In other words, there will be no other dance after that. Hebrews 9 verse 27, it says, it is appointed unto men to die once. Then comes judgment. When Jesus comes, there will be no other thing after that. In other words, if you do not repent now, there will be no time for repentance thereafter. If you do not do what you ought to do now, there will be no space for you to do it after that. Ecclesiastes 9 verse 10. He says, for whatever your hand findeth to do, do it and do it mightily. For in Hades where you are going, there will be no this, no this, no that. In other words, do it now. Be ye ready now. Because he's coming. We are not trying to intimidate you. The Bible or God is not intimidating you. God does not gain anything by intimidating me or you. But he's coming. Therefore we must be ready. But let me actually talk about 2 things in this part. Number 1, I'm going to talk about how can we be ready? And I will actually tell you about things we do that makes us not to be ready. So, we are not ready, my brother, for the coming of the Lord. Number 1, if we still love the world. We are not ready for the coming of the Lord. If we still love this world. In the book of 1 John chapter 2 verse 15 to 17, he says, love not the world, nor the things in the world. He who loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. We are not ready for the coming of the Lord. If we still love this world, how to be party drinking, you are there. If you still love this world, my beloved brothers, you are not ready. Number 2, we are not ready if we are still living in sin. In the book of Galatians chapter 5 verse 19 to 21, it tells us the list of things that we can actually do if we are living according to the flesh. We are not ready for the coming of the Lord if we are still living in sin. If you are still hiding, my beloved brothers, we are not ready for the coming of the Lord. Number 3, we are not ready if we have not yet obeyed the gospel. I mean, can I leave that out? Do you think I was going to leave that out? I mean, that is the punchline, isn't it? So we are not ready if we have not obeyed the gospel. If we have got someone here who's not yet baptized, who has not yet repented, who has not yet confessed Christ, you are not ready for the coming of the Lord. If you are to be ready, baptism will be required. You are not ready if you are not yet baptized. Number 4, you are not ready for the coming of Christ if you are still a Christian Christian who is lukewarm.
You come when you want. Just choose and then you come. Choose next week and then you come.
We are not ready. If we are Christians who are lukewarm,
you find them everywhere.
Number 17.
At church they sing.
One
side they are well known.
We are not ready for the coming of the Lord. If we are lukewarm Christians. One
foot in, another foot is outside.
Lastly, we are not ready for the coming of the Lord if we do not love each other as Christians. You are not ready. You are not ready for the coming of the Lord. If you do not love me, no, you don't love them. If you don't love us, if you don't love other Christians, you are not ready, my brother. And we pride ourselves. How about the book of Matthew chapter 5? That says if your brother has something against you, go to him. But we pride ourselves. We are not ready, my brothers, if we do not love each other. In John chapter 13, verse 34 and 35, Jesus said, love one another as I've loved you. And he said, the whole world will actually know that you're my disciples if you love each other. Indeed, we are not ready for the coming of the Lord.
If you don't love one another, there's somebody seated because they hate somebody. If they come next to you, like after lunch, you switch and come this way. What happened here?
Because we are not ready, my brothers, if we do not love one another. In the book of 1 John chapter 4, in verse 20, the book that talks about love, he says we love him because he loved us first. And if a man say he loved God, whereas he hates his brothers, he is a liar. There is someone I once preached many years ago that talks about liars in the church. And the book of 1 John had the word liars 5 times. And this word was actually, this letter or this book was written to Christians. Therefore, he's saying there are liars among Christians. And one of those liars are those who claim to love God, who sing and cry, who pray and cry, who preaches and sweat. And they hate someone in our midst. Forget you are a liar. You are a very good liar. And you may be lying to men, but you are not lying to God. Now Galatians chapter 6 verse 7, it says, do not be deceived. God is not mocked. Whatever you sow, that's what you're going to reap. Oh, you can mock me. It's easy to mock me. Actually, when I look at all of you here, I look at my beautiful, good, handsome, beautiful sisters and brothers. You look heavenly. You look like you are going to heaven. But there are people who are on the right road, but going the other direction. Because We are not ready. We are not ready if we hate each other. And we are not ready. We are not ready if we still love the world. And we are not ready if we are still living in sin.
You are busy changing these people out there. Not a Christian. While I was growing up,
one of my older brothers.
I asked one of the older
I
said, hey, I have do we visit? Do we do the deed? And they said, good advice was yeah. But as long as you married that one. Did you understand that?
As long as
they're saying, as long as you marry her, you can sleep with her. Even though you are not married to her. As long as you are married.
That is fornication. That is fornication. Sleeping with someone whom you are not married to. Do not tell
eating the fruits of the garden, but you're outside.
Don't
enjoy the fruits. Enter the garden. Others are not using the gate, they're just jumping over the fence. Through the gate. If we want to enjoy, get married.
You are not ready if you are still living in sin. And those of you who are not yet baptized, you are not ready if you are not baptized. You are not ready as long as you have not obeyed the gospel. So here comes the question. How do we become ready for the coming of the Lord? Now, let me actually go back and tell you a little bit of what I said. We talked about the coming of the Lord, and I said it will be unexpected, it will be personal, it will be final. Therefore, be ready. And I mentioned 5 things that I said you are not ready if you are still in this condition. So here comes my last things. I'm going to mention. How do we become ready then? How do we become ready? And let me tell you, I am not going to work hard to answer this question. Because Jesus answered this question for me. In Matthew chapter 24, Jesus is telling the disciples, be ready. And in chapter 25, he gives them 3 parables. The parable about the virgins, the parable about the steward, about the talents, and the last parable about the judgment. And he's talking about the sheep and the goats. Then I'm going to give you 3 things that can help you to be ready. Because Jesus in those 3 parables, he told us 3 things we can actually do to be ready for the coming of the Lord. Number 1, you want to be ready? Use your time well. Don't be like 5 foolish virgins who did not use their time wisely. They wasted their time. And when the time was up, that's when they started trying to be busy. Use your time well. Let me say this again. Do you want to be ready for the coming of the Lord? Use your time here on earth and use it well. Don't waste your time. There are so many young people who waste their time. So the question is, why shouldn't I waste my time? Because time is cruel. Let me say that again. If we are talking about one of the cruelest things in the world, you cannot reverse it. People, if I ask a question, how many of you wants to be young? Many may actually say, I wish I don't want to be young, but I just want 30 years. Because you have 30 years. But time is cruel. We
love to do things, but we can't because time is cruel.
Use your time well.
These 5 virgin girls, because they did not use their time wisely, by the time they came back, I don't know if they had that extra oil. They were knocking. They were denied.
Why? Because they did not use their time well. Do you want to be ready? Use your time well. Use your time to reach those who are lost. Use your time to touch other people's lives. Use your time for Bible study. Do I do these things?
Ask yourself. Am I touching anybody's life? Are we not busy pushing the people away? Because our life is not touching anyone.
So do you want to be ready for the coming of the Lord? Please use your time well. Because time is cruel. And time is irreversible. And each and every one of us will be accountable how we have used our time. In the book of 2 Corinthians, I've already quoted this 5:10. He says, for we shall all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, so that each and every one of us will be recompensed according to what we have done. You will actually be judged for the time, how you used it. Do you want to be ready? Use your time wisely. Do the best you can to redeem it.
Redeem the time.
Redeem, it means doing more. Do the best you can with the little time that you have. Acknowledge the agency. In Matthew chapter 20, verse 29 to 34, we read about a man called Bartimaeus. Bartimaeus. He heard that Jesus was passing. This man had ears, but this man did not actually see. He was not given the opportunity to see. But even though Bartimaeus could not see, he heard. And whatever he heard, he was sure about it. And he acknowledged the agency. To such an extent that when people were keeping him shut,
making noise,
he did not accept. My beloved brothers and sisters, do you want to be ready for the coming of the Lord? Use your time well. Avoid procrastination.
I know somebody who has fallen away. When I go to him and encourage him every day, and he said, I am still in the church. And I said, you are not in the church. He said, I am in there. Wow. Let me start number 17 then. So you believe me, let me start hymn number 17.
avoid procrastination. The rich fool thought he had many years. But his life ended suddenly. Don't delay repentance. Don't delay obedience. Don't delay the service.
Many of us were good at counting money. Some people are not here. They are worried about the price of diesel. We worry so much about money and not life. We go to work every day. We go to work every day with that diesel price. But the Lord said, when we talk about Bible study, they don't even want to be there.
His brother talked about sermon outlining.
And sermon outlining.
Yeah, there's a day he posted about sermon outlining. Something very crucial.
Outline a this and this and this.
Textual sermons, expository sermons, topical sermons. People do not care about them. Even preachers who have been preaching for a long time, they don't know it. And they don't come to the Bible study.
Blessed are the
poor in spirit. We need to be people who are tapenophrones, who are humble in spirit, who humble ourselves to attend the Bible study.
Something that hinders people from attending Bible studies. It's because the leaders are not attending. I mean, can you expect Chris to go when somebody...
I am his brother. So
if I do not stand up and do anything, do you think he'll be encouraged?
We need to be involved.
I once said something.
I don't want people to feel sorry for me. I am doing so well right now. But in 2020, I was sick. Then I started recording messages every morning. Right now, I've got more than 5,000 sermons I have recorded. You know why? Because I thought I was going to die. I'm telling you, I thought I was going to die. And the worst part of things, most people who knew that I was sick, they were calling me, telling me that, what is it that is bothering you, brother? And I said, I've got this problem. He said, you will never survive. People are cruel. The moment did you survive this problem?
And then COVID-19
to such an extent that is tasty.
I could not taste anything. I could not smell anything.
And someone was calling me. People are cruel. Telling me who died and who did not die. I'm telling you, people are cruel. I started recording because I never wanted to die with my hands closed. I
wanted to try by all means to share whatever I had.
And I did my best until now. And right now. I
saw that I'm dying and I'm going to die with this knowledge.
There is someone who invested more than 10 years.
Una mtu we investor chipinga chinji.
Una maduva manji enda vadisarari ayani ndiko kuda baby.
There was times where I did not sleep at home.
Nikitonga mtango shuma hoba diva nikitonga ni mshumo.
Like work a secular job.
Nikitonga Monday ndabianga Friday ngamatekwa.
Home Monday, come back Friday.
And then nikufana ukuta Sunday. Ndimo yote ndio iputa ke.
But that knowledge is I'm just going to die holding it.
I decided to record the message. Use your time well. You want to be ready? Use your time here on earth very well. Number 2, you want to be ready? The second parable. Use your talents, your abilities faithfully. In this parable, which is 25:14 to 30.
25:14 we are
Jesus talks about the talent.
Yes,
and he said there is one man who has gained 5, the other 2, and the other 1. And all of them he gave them according to their abilities. And he gave them so that they can actually use them. You want to be ready for the coming of the Lord? Use what God has given you. And now let me share a little bit on that story. Number 1, acknowledge what you have. What is it that He has actually given you? Others have been given money. Others have been given wisdom. Others have been given things others do not have. Use that. In 1 Corinthians chapter 4 verse 7, he says, what is it that you have not received? What is it that you have not received? So why do you pride yourself as if you did not receive it? So you want to be ready for the coming of the Lord. Use what the Lord has given you faithfully. And for you to use what you have faithfully. Start acknowledging, what do I have? That reminds me of Exodus chapter 4 verse 2. When God asked Moses, what do you have in your hand? What do you have in your hand? Now you ask didn't God know what Moses had in his hand? Didn't God know? He knew what Moses had in his hand. But he wanted Moses to acknowledge what he had. If you wait for someone to tell you what you have in your hand, why don't you do this? It will be better for you to acknowledge it. So, you want to be ready for the coming of the Lord. Start acknowledging that you have been given something. And use your talents faithfully. And for you to use your talents faithfully, start acknowledging what you have. And remember, we do not actually have the same talents. 5, the other one 2, and the other 1. We are not given the same talents. And remember, the Lord is the giver of those talents. And please don't bury what you have. Don't be like the one talented man who buried his talent. There are so many in the church whom the Lord has blessed in different ways. And they are hiding it. Do you remember what happened to the one talented man? I know you know. There is someone that I once actually heard and preached. What if I am the one talented man? Was I going to hide it? What was I going to do differently than that man? But remember, we will be judged for not using what we have. So the second thing that ought to help us to be ready for the coming of the Lord, use your talent well. There are people who are very good in so many things, and they are not using it. And some are not given an opportunity to use it. The time, Chris, yes. Thank you, young man. I don't know if my wife told you, but she will do this to tell me about the time. So you're doing this many times. I realize that you will hate yourself. She's doing this again and again. Let me give you the last thing. I still have time. That's what you're saying. So, but I will stop anytime now. So, are you ready for the coming of the Lord? Number one, for you to be ready, use your time wisely.
Don't be
you are the
one who causes people to fight.
Like the book of Proverbs 6:16 to 19.
The one who causes
strife between the kindreds. And God says they are abomination. He hates them.
What are you doing with your time?
Number two. Let us use our time to use the talent that we have been given. God has given you something. Use it. Use it. And use it mightily. In Ecclesiastes 9:10, it says, because in Hades where you're going, there will be no this, there will be no that. So the last one, you want to be ready for the coming of the Lord? Be good to all men. That is the last parable. The first parable 1 to 13. The second parable 14 to 30. The last parable is 31 to 46. You want to be ready for the coming of the Lord? Be willing to be good to everyone. Now that reminds me of the book of Ephesians chapter 2 verse 10. We are the workmanship of God, created for every good work. In Galatians chapter 6 verse 10. If you have an opportunity, do good to all men, especially those of the same household of faith. You want to be ready for the coming of the Lord? Do good to all men. How you treat other people matters.
Don't look down upon somebody because
how you treat other people matters. How do I know? Because in this story, 4 times they will say, Lord, when did we sin? Because they thought the Lord will actually come wearing badge. But there came a boy whom they despised. Do good to all men if you want to be ready. This man did not enter heaven because he was not good to other people.
There was a story which the older people, I thought it was from the Bible at some point in time. And they said the Lord wants to tell this old woman, he said, I will come to your house. That lady said, where? He said, don't worry, you will see me. That lady was ready always. The trays were clean. The glasses were clean. Waiting for the visitor. One day, another old man just showed up wearing a jacket that is just somehow. That lady said, no, this is not the visitor.
That's okay.
That lady. She took a very old cup. Very old guy. Give that old man, said, drink, use this one. That old man took it, used it, and after some time, that lady met the Lord. And she said, I have been waiting and waiting. Since you said you will come, everything is ready. The plates are ready. The goat is ready.
Oh, over my dead body, you have not come.
I
would have noticed you. I mean, I know you. You have never come. You have never set foot on my house. Never. Jesus said, I came. And you gave me water through the old. And that is when that lady realized that she should have been good to this boy. Then the last parable in Matthew 25. In answering, are you ready? He says, do good to all men. You know why? Because what you do to one another, you will actually find it there. What
they were doing among themselves, they never thought that when we get to heaven we'll find good.
Do good. Say something good about someone. How you treat others, it matters. Respect each and every person regardless of the class. Sit on the floor. You remember that story? Jesus or God hates those who are respectful of persons. Because God is not a respecter of persons. Acts chapter 10 verse 34. So respect each and every person. Regardless of the status. Regardless of the age. God follows the soul. So should we.